Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Swipe up the 151st episode of the show where I talk about Instagram posts that I liked or thought were interesting or just feel like I want to comment on and potentially get flagged by YouTube and maybe lose my YouTube page, my clips page anyway. But anyway, that's hopefully not going to happen anymore. Hopefully that was an isolated incident. And I'm not going to go into any details on what that is. You're just going to have to figure it out or not. Just in your own brain, come up with whatever narrative you want and just go with it. But let's move on to a reality that's I would not want to participate in a reality like this. I would not want to be in an elevator during a flood. I mean, aside from all of the disaster movie type things that are happening all around the world in general, earthquakes, Haiti just got flattened by another earthquake, 7.6. That was a huge earthquake in Haiti. Devastated once again. You got fires everywhere, all over the world. Greece, California, probably Australia, if not now, soon. Droughts are happening. People don't believe in a deadly virus that's killing them because they're not vaccinated. But then, you're in an elevator in Nebraska, and all of a sudden water stops. The elevator stops, I would imagine, is the first thing that happens. And then you notice water coming in. And then you notice that the water is up to your armpits. That would be a freaky situation. I mean, for sure I'm recording, right? Live streaming. Hey, you might see me drown right now. Maybe it's like the movies and there's a little hatch at the top of it that you can just open up and escape. But, reality and movies are so closely linked. I can't imagine a movie being inaccurate about anything. Let alone something as serious as a latch on the roof of an elevator. But yeah, that would be freaky, man. That would be freaky. Yeah, it's not something I'd want to deal with, but it's the world we're living in. Just take the stairs, people. Take the stairs. The flooding is crazy everywhere. That's another thing that's happening. Obviously, flooding. It's happening in elevators. It's flooding so much everywhere that even elevators are getting flooded. That was on the 10th floor. No. All right, let's move on to a little bit of movie trivia. What did you do, Ray, from Ghostbusters? In Ghostbusters from 1984, it was Bill Murray's idea for Venkman to be covered in much less marshmallow than the other characters. Though Dan Aykroyd loved the shaving cream and kept asking for more to be applied to him. And, I think the contrast is definitely funnier. The fact that the cool guy barely gets any marshmallow. It's just like on his head a little bit. And then you have Ray just completely drenched. I mean, a hilarious moment. And my name being Ray, that was, in the 90s, it was a popular thing. What did you do now, Ray? I just thought of the most harmless thing I could think of. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But yeah, some interesting stuff. I haven't watched those movies in a minute. I probably rewatched them when the remake came out, which I was not a big fan of the remake. It was okay. I don't understand why they had to, it really kind of spit in the faces of the original movies, in some ways. I mean, they were kind of in the universe where the original guys existed, but then also those original guys are playing characters in the new one. Either make it a completely different universe or make it the same universe and treat those characters with a little bit of respect. But other than that, I thought it was okay. I thought I watched it in 3D in the theater, and I thought the 3D was really fun. Um, but I just, as far as the story went, I thought they could, and like everybody's stupid. Like men are extra stupid in it, and then but even the female scientist characters are stupid. And I'm kind of I'm like the whole stupid is funny thing rarely works. And that's kind of Melissa McCarthy's MO. Like stupid and fat are like how comedy works in her movies. And stupidity can work. Dumb and Dumber is a classic comedy, but just making everybody stupid is like okay, I guess it's a comedy, so just people are stupid in comedies, which they don't have to be. You can have smart characters, like you can have your leads be smart. They don't have to be stupid too. But anyway, it was a little disappointing. It's not a movie I don't know. They're supposed to be coming out with a new remake also, which is like a remake. We'll see. We'll see how it is. The bar is super low. Not that the first one's a classic. Second movie's okay. The special effects are a little iffy, but it's back in the 80s. But yeah, I'm excited when the new Ghostbusters finally gets released, whenever that's supposed to be. I'll go back through and rewatch the first two and probably rewatch the Paul Feig one also. And maybe I'll enjoy it more the second time around. Maybe that would be nice. Let's move on. Let's move on to some news. Some people are dying. People are dying. Get vaccinated. The vaccination works. And wear your mask. Simple things you could do to help protect yourself and help protect the people around you. And use Texas and Florida as an example of what not to do, where they make up nearly 40% of new hospitalizations. So out of all of the country, 40% of people in hospitals are coming from Texas and Florida. Just two states where the governors are doing everything to kill their citizens, making everybody just able to carry guns, and then just forcing schools to not, like, kids are dying, forcing schools to not implement a mask mandate, like forcing them to be like, that would be the same as, which I'm sure they would want to do. That'd be like giving every kid a gun when they go into school in order to protect against school shootings. Like that's the level of brilliance that's going on in Florida and Texas. Like they would stop. They would think they would stop mass shootings in schools if they gave all of the kids guns, and they're going to stop a deadly virus by forcing all of the kids to can't wear masks. I guess you can wear one on your own, but the school can't force kids to do it. I don't know. It's all these fragile people that have a problem wearing a mask. Like they're so inconvenienced to put a piece of fabric over their face holes that they're willing to let everybody die. And they're threatening to kill people too. That's like the other wrinkle of the conservative party. Like they're trying to passively kill as many people, with guns and the virus, and then also threatening to like start another civil war, whatever they want to do, or just all their terrorist threats and attacks. Fragile people. And I'm scared about California with this, trying to get rid of Newsom. It's like, is he great? No, but he's exponentially better than every conservative option. Exponentially better. I would probably be homeless if I was living in any other state. Just as far as how many states really did nothing to do anything for the citizens during this global pandemic, I would be in a completely different reality if not for Gavin Newsom. So thank you. Do I like the fact that all the environmental stuff and all the other? No, I don't. But I'm not going to trade him with a guy that thinks the minimum wage should be $0. Like, there's just insanity that comes along with the Conservative Party, and they're trying to steal California, and it's scary. But I guess California could become the next Florida and Texas, even though every state hates people from California. Every state hates. There's like such a hatred for people from California when they move to any state outside of California. Meanwhile, everybody that lives in California is not from here. LA, full of people not from California. San Diego, full of people not from California. San Francisco, I'm sure there's some, but the majority are people from everywhere else. Coming here for tech or movies or military, schools, whatever. So yeah, people are dying. I would hate to live in those states. I know people that live in those states. I feel bad for them. They're literally think that this is freedom. Like, I don't want to be inconvenienced to have to cover my face. I don't want to have to do any kind of public, decent thing. It's free to let people die. People are going to die anyway, right? I guess. Anyway. Move on. The DCEU, the DC Extended Universe or Extended Universe. Their movies ranked in Rotten Tomatoes, starting off with Superman. Which one was that one? The Rises? No, Superman Rises. I don't know. It's the first one with Zack Snyder. Got a 56%, which I've tried to watch that one. I remember liking that one because I was back in the time where I was excited. I kind of liked Zack Snyder stuff. 300 I enjoyed. I never saw the Owls of Ga'Hoole or whatever. But I kind of liked his style, and I was interested. I was a huge Superman fan. As a kid growing up, loved was Christopher Reeves Superman. Loved those. And I thought it was fun. I don't think I've ever finished it. I think I've fallen asleep multiple times trying to watch it because Zack Snyder is just a horrible storyteller and then makes all of his movies super long. It's anyways, it got 56, so not the worst. Then you had Batman vs Superman, which was horrible, just a huge pile. That was the movie when it came out that I was like, how do people watch that and enjoy it? But they did, and then they did the same thing with Suicide Squad, which was 26%. Just another horrible movie. Exponential. I thought it was way worse than it felt like. Such a low, there's so many moments that felt super low budget in that movie, and then of course the first Wonder Woman movie, which I thought was good. Everybody was like it was the best thing ever made ever, But compared to the other DC movies, yes, it was far better, exponentially better than all the Zack Snyder stuff. But not it wasn't amazing. It was just a good. I didn't hate myself for spending the time watching. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. I wouldn't necessarily agree with the 93%, but comparatively to the other stuff they were putting out, I get it. Then moving on to, which one is this one? Oh, the Justice League. Yeah, that was, I don't know. It wasn't good either. It was, I mean, just wasn't good. It was, a lot of, like most of them, dark CG scenes of fighting that I don't really care about. It's so forgettable, that movie. And is that the one that they came out with the Snyder cut of Justice League? I haven't seen that one. This one I would imagine is the theatrical version, got the 40%. So moving on to Aquaman. Aquaman was okay. It was whatever. Justin Lin, I prefer in the Fast and the Furious franchise. I like what he does there more than this. Just kind of, it was, I don't know, it wasn't that great. Wasn't a big fan. But, 60, 65, I kind of agree. It wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't. It was okay. It was whatever. It's forgettable. Nothing of that movie makes me want to go see it again. Then we have Shazam, which I loved. Kids movie. Not really. It doesn't really part of the extended universe. I mean, you don't see Shazam show up in the Justice League or anything. I don't think we do. But I really love that. I think they're doing a sequel to that. I'm in for that. Then we have the Harley Quinn movie. I really love that one. I thought that one, similarly to the newest Suicide Squad, are probably the highest, my two favorite of the universe. But yeah, the Harley Quinn one was a lot of fun. Then we have the sequel to Wonder Woman, which I thought was just garbage. Just garbage. Horrible fight sequences. Horrible writing. She's supposed to be this brilliant scientist, but she can't understand how flight works. It is stupid. Just so much of that movie is bad. And of course, final battle scene is at night in the dark. You can't see it. It's just so bad. Gal Gadot, just a horrible actress. Horrible. She was okay in the first one, but just like maybe it was the same director as the first one too. I don't know what happened, but it was just bad. And then that was 59%, and then 91% is the newest Suicide Squad, which I really enjoyed. Everybody that's watched the Suicide Squad has loved it. Up until I just recently, today, moments before recording this episode, was listening to a podcast where they said it was better than the first one, but like barely better than the first one, which I can't maybe it just hit me right, but I loved it. I thought it got 91%. I think that's totally valid. 91. That's a strong 91%. I think it should be higher than Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, that's at 93. But being neck and neck with Shazam, I enjoy it. Horrible franchise, but there's some good ones. Like, I would compare this franchise, the DCEU movies, to like Star Wars. There's most of the Star Wars movies are horrible. Like every Star Wars movie that had George Lucas involved as a director, horrible, or just not very good. But then there's some really great ones. So I would like consistency wise, I would say that they're comparable. But anyway. I'm happy. I want to see good movies. I don't want to see bad DC. I don't want DC to put out bad. I would love to see them compete with Marvel because I don't like Disney. I do not like Disney. And I like the rated R comic book movies. Sure. I'm an adult. Give it to me. Give me action. Give me awesome action. Do stuff that Disney will never do. Disney's never going to do a rated R comic book movie. It's just not their thing. It's just not their thing. Maybe they will, but I doubt it. I can't imagine they'd be good. Like a Disney rated R movie. There's no way it's going to be good. They just don't know how to do it. They've never done it. I mean, I guess they could. I don't know. No, I'd rather have DC get rid of Zack Snyder. Right? Put James Gunn in, kick Zack Snyder, have him kick rocks. Maybe Disney will pick up Zack Snyder, and then they'll put out a bunch of horrible movies, bunch of like 3-hour long, boring, no plot, just references to comic book franchises. Anyway. Let's move on. No evidence of super spreader event at Lollapalooza. So there's two big kind of events that happened recently. Lollapalooza, I think it was in Chicago, and Sturgis bike rally in North Dakota, I think. Two very different groups of people in these giant events. The Lollapalooza event, I believe you had to show proof of vaccination. Can people fake it? Sure. Some people got sick. Some people got COVID, like 100 people out of probably thousands upon thousands of people that got it. You go to Sturgill, I don't know if they put out numbers yet of I'm sure they're not tracking numbers. It's another downside of a lot of these conservative states that don't even want to track the virus. They want to have zero information. They're just going to wing it when it comes to protecting their citizens from a deadly virus that's killing people globally. They think it's some kind of conspiracy or whatever. But yeah, Lollapalooza, not a super spreader. I wasn't super excited about people, like when I saw Lollapalooza was happening. Actually, they were streaming it live on Hulu, and I watched a little bit of it. Watched Journey with their new lead singer, which was kind of interesting. I think he's a Filipino kid. Kind of weird seeing a young kid in a band with super old rocker guys. The contrast was, even stylish, what they wore was completely, he looked like a hip hop. He was a hip hop artist or something, clean, fresh. And then you got all the band members in their, 50-year-old jacket and torn jeans and just that standard rock and roll vibe from the 80s. But yeah, so I wasn't stoked. I don't think it's a good idea, but it's nice to see that it wasn't similarly to the Black Lives Matter protests that happened. Didn't really, because everybody was masked up. That was before the vaccine was even out, but everybody was maxed up, and they're outside too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that compares to the bike rally. But yeah, Lollapalooza. We'll see. Coachella's supposed to be happening. Stagecoach is supposed to be happening, I think, in the fall, or maybe they pushed it till next year. I don't know. I don't have a desire to go to either of those, but they happen very close to where I live. So anyway, let's do some shout-outs and get out of here. Shout out to ABC News, shout out to Movie Facts, and shout out Rotten Tomatoes. But most importantly, shout out to you. Get yourself $25 in new credit when you sign up for your great new cell phone service over at Ting. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. Sign up now with that link, and you get yourself $25 to put towards a new device, put towards your service. But it's a great quality service that you do not pay an arm and a leg for. I love it. I've been using it for years and pay so very little. I could almost pay 2 months of my cell phone bill with $25 credit that you get for free when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's TING, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!